Welcome everybody. It's 4:32 on the clock, as opposed to 3:21. It's 4:23 or 4:32. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath first. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings. And thank you all for being here. Let's roll the dice first to see what's going on. Today is February 18th, 2022. Twin Flames. Okay, we have Cancer. The 69 is also like the Ace of Pentacles, which is offering time, money, and energy, a new life perhaps. We have the number 1 of the masculine, of the Magician, of unity. And that's also January, which can be Capricorn and Aquarius, which we're now leaving, I guess, soon. I'm not sure exactly what day it is, leaving Aquarius to go to Pisces. And then we have the South Node here, which is in Scorpio. So letting go of Scorpio-related things that no longer serve. So with the Magician, we have Gemini under Virgo, and then Capricorn into Aquarius as well, because of January, along with Cancer and Scorpio, so both water signs. And then Pisces coming up too. So we have all the water signs, and then the Magician, or the unity consciousness, and letting go of what no longer serves us in Scorpio in deep, profound ways. Okay, so we're good with the water with that, because at least we're in touch with our water side. And today's the 18th, which is the moon, so there's that Cancer energy. And the day adds up to 26/8, which is the 26 is the Page of Wands, which is, you know, like a young kid inspired to create or inspired to go on a date, just inspired. So before I went to sleep last night, I've been doing the past couple nights meditation into my astral realm, like I was guided the other day in the read, and then going up the 8 golden steps to go to our mushroom room, or kind of like a private Akashic records room for you and your twin, with a whispering bench inside, which for me is a nice cushy white couch. But anyway, last night when I went, I've also been trying to do some astral traveling to Alpha Centauri, because that was a location where I was told I did a galactic astrological read with Julia Balaz. She's in Ireland near Elena Denon. So if you want to check her out, she's really amazing. But she does galactic identification according to your astrological chart. So according to my chart, I'm connected with everything basically, and she feels that my origination, I always felt very connected to Arcturians and Sirians, because Arcturians were the first beings I saw when I started awakening. And I was also told at the very beginning that I was connected with Sirius, but I always connected with Sirius anyway. And that was my Mary Magdalene connection, along with Lord Sirius. But she said my original origination, she believes, is at Hydra or Alpha Centauri. And so I've been trying to astral travel there. I tend to, when I astral travel, I end up not being anywhere. I'm probably because I'm so used to doing this that I just want to be out in space by myself. But I ended up in a ship. I was inside of a ship, but I don't know if it was a dark ship or not. And I landed, I was going into a swimming pool that had a cabana on one quarter, kind of like a quarter. The cabana was over 1/4 of the swimming pool, so it wasn't just on the ground outside the swimming pool. It literally hovered over a portion of the swimming pool, which was kind of cool. But it literally looked like the ship I was on was going into this pool because it was a portal. But it was interesting because it just looked like a nice pool in someone's backyard. So I wanted to bring that up in case anyone resonated with that. And yeah, I didn't get much more there. I was kind of distracted, so I was getting pulled out of it. But and then this morning, I was watching Michael Salla again, because he was talking about Elon Musk satellites that got taken down, and I brought that up a little bit already, but I wanted to go over the video again because there were some details that I was really connecting with, because he brought up the Alpha Centaurian that Elena had connected with and wrote an article about, who's a tall Nordic, and I was I've been doing Alpha Centauri all week and trying to astral travel there. So that was connecting with me, as well as Elon Musk coming up, because of course Elon comes up for me every now and then. And then also what really struck me in Michael Salla's discussion about this was in talking about this woman from Alpha Centauri, how she was describing the work that they were doing. And I'll let you watch that video for the details about her, but they were doing work regarding, another kind of communication other than the 5G that's really bad for us with the EMFs, and describing about the pairs of entangled photons, which is very interesting because it's just like the infinity symbol that I always use. And the infinity symbol is, the 2 8s going into the 3rd 8, I always say knocks over into the infinity symbol, then becomes the twins with each other. The one infinity symbol going between the two of you. And so that was very much paralleling with the pairs of entangled photons for communication, because obviously if you put a pair of entangled photons out there, wherever you send the communication to, and then when the pairs split, wherever the other pair goes, you're going to get automatic communication because they're already together. So that has to do with that quantum entanglement and quantum communication together. But in describing that technology that they're working on, she described when Alice receives her entanglement photon, she lets it interact with a quote-unquote memory qubit. And you know how much I've been talking about qubits lately with the queen's quarters and the pyramid and the qubits. But they spelled it with a Q here as opposed to a C. That holds the data that she wants to transmit to then Bob, the other pair, or the other side of the pair. This interaction changes the state of her photon, and because it's entangled, the interaction instantaneously changes the state of his photon too, which makes complete sense to me or any other twin who understands that connection. So I would definitely recommend listening to that video. I believe it was his last one. He might have done one since then, but it's from this week. And again, talked about Paradise and the reason why it burned down in California. Anything else came up? Okay. All right, so something else that came up was really interesting in the Metatron read. So we're going to do the Metatron read first. Here's the Metatron read. This is the Metatron deck. And the bottom card on the deck is here, the underlying energies, and I go down a few. We start here, and I go across all the way down to these 3 cards, and then these 4, okay? So, here we go. So I just have the Metatron read and the Twin Flame read on the table today, the general read for all the twins. And this Metatron read was done at 12:27 to 28 today. I had to take my car in for an inspection today, so that's what I was doing this morning. And I took a long walk to try to get some shopping done because I have a grandnephew. So I have to figure out what I am exactly. But anyway, I always get them confused. My nephew's son is having a birthday party tomorrow, so I'm going to a little kiddie party tomorrow. But the underlying energy here was the, at 12:27 to 28 first is the Hanging Man of the 12. The 27 and 28 is the Ace of Wands, and then the 2 of Wands are the Twin Flames. The underlying energy of family, perhaps recently spending time with family, and the 49 associated with getting your wish, being happy with yourself, and then letting go of that stability, so to speak, in order to go back to you being the beacon of light. And that 44 of doing the dance with the 3D. For me, the 44 is the 3D lap dance as opposed to the 8 of the 5D do-si-do. So the first card out was the lilac card of the castle in the sky against the moon, which I call the purple moon, or the 0 point, right, where the light meets the dark. It's purple. So the 1 here is the lilac and 54, which is the page of swords, which is the message. And some beautiful messages came through regarding the stuff that I had been dealing with this past day or two. And let's see, colors that came up were lilac, white, and indigo. And then pink and gold came up at the end as well. Okay, so we have a lot of high vibe energies there. There were no lower chakra energies that came up today. And also the elements fire and water came up again. And they come up a lot as the twins, the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Cups coming together. And pink and gold, of course, is that combination of compassion and Christ consciousness. And then, of course, the indigo and going into the whites and violets above the indigo. So really high vibe energies here. And so the cluster that Julia thought I was from was the Messier 83, which was interesting too, because my soul number is 38. And also because the 8s and the 3s and the E's are the rolling stone, part of the E, 3, M, and W that I was talking about, which also make the 8, right? If you put a 3 and an E together, it makes an 8. So they're all related. And of course the H is the 8, because the 8th number in the alphabet. And I see H as the 44, the lap dance, right? So that lower vibration of 8, which is in the 5D energy. So she thought that I am actually from Hydra, which is a beautiful spiral galaxy of pinks and peaches and browns. It's really beautiful. And I really resonated with it when she showed it to me. So, but there's been other things kind of leaking into me since then. So in these family circles of connections, quote unquote, and getting your wishes, self-satisfaction, perhaps going to meet and greets as well, perhaps meeting new groups, the Emperor letting go of control, where it's time for release. Stability comes from the heart. Remember, the 4th finger to the 4th chakra is that 44 on the rose line of the Taurus on the whispering bench of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Then Messier 83 comes up, so that's Hydra. And this is very interesting because everyone thinks of the 2-headed monster of the Hydra, but you're not going to believe what the actual definitions of Hydra are besides the dragon. Very sweet, actually. So when I broke down Centauri, of course, which is the Tauri of Taurus, and the Sen, which I brought up the other day, which has to do with, has a lot of definitions, but it has to do with, one of the definitions is the torch or the flame, and the change or shift. So the shifting, flaming bull is the Centauri. And of course there's Alpha and Beta, and there's lots of other planets there. But we have the Messier 83 Hydra, which Hydra doesn't just mean the monster. There is a freshwater polyp that's called the Hydra. It's green and it looks like a pinwheel, which is how Hydra is described, as a pinwheel. It's beautiful. So this is the plant that you find that's the Hydra, okay? And it looks just like the pinwheel. And this is supposed to be a portal right in the middle. And it also means Hydra, otter. How cool is that? And wasn't I just talking about the otter yesterday that looks like the 2-year-old when I lost my daughter on the beach that one time when she was little? So Centauri, and again the shifting flaming bull, and the Hydra of the center opening surrounded by tentacles, and it's green. And then of course it means the dragon with multiple heads, right? That every time they cut their heads off, they grow back a new one until they learned how to cauterize. And then the water snake also comes up with this because it is in the shape of a snake. So ultimately the words of Hydra go back to ancient Greek and so on. They lead back to Wydra, W-Y-D-R-A, which is the otter meaning. and also the pinwheel, which it's called the pinwheel, but they didn't describe it in the definition at all like pinwheel, but I know it's called the pinwheel constellation there. And so when I looked up this stuff, the pin will come up again, so remember that I said that. So the Hydra, W-Y-D-R-A, that was the original word going into Hydra, is again the W of two U's, and then Y, the Y in the road, which is the 0 point, or the top of the pyramid, where all roads lead home. And then the Dra, D-R-A, which can be the dragon, but also to carry, to wear, dirt, and sediment. To draw, to pull or drag, to leave, depart, go, and to tell a short story or joke. So literally the Hydra or Hydra is the two U's at the Y in the road telling short stories, like I do for you, with otters and pinwheels, which is perfect for me because what do I always tell you about? My safety pin example on how we share energies and how the feminine collects energy from the sun, and then it goes down into the circle of the pin at the bottom, goes into the second circle, which is the masculine, which is the back of the pin, and then the top is the housing, which then creates a vacuum and closes it all up. The masculine gets to use up the energy, and then the feminine has to go back and fill up again, just like a gas tank. So here we have the safety pin, we have the pinwheel, and not only that, but we went back into the definitions, and the Mandarin pinyin definition came up. So again, these are confirmations when I'm going down the right trail. So leaving the family behind to shine on, you beacon of light. Remember the 44 number comes up here, the fourth finger with the ring, and the fourth chakra, the heart chakra, with the ring of fire and jumping through hoops. The Rock of Gibraltar then comes up, and Gibraltar is G-I-B-R, altar. So that's the grounding integrating of the British altar, or that could be military British altar as well. But the G, grounding and integrating of the British altar as the pathway to liberty through the dark into the light, and the Atlantis etheric altar that's over the Statue of Liberty. And this was at 1257, which is the Hanging Man and the Three of Swords. So the way this was playing out was, remember how I've told you before, that what I'm getting is that Atlas and Hercules mountains in Morocco and in Spain, in the Spanish territories that's actually in Morocco. Those are the two pillars, the threshold, in other words, that lead to the Rock of Gibraltar. It's like an arrow leading to England. Okay, so Atlas and Hercules' pillar, and remember Atlas and Hercules is also at last her harvest, crossing the dual mountain threshold of Atlas and Hercules to the Rock of Gibraltar Atlas, and then, altar, and then blowing their royal crown by leaving England in 13 colonies straight away from Gibraltar, because the Strait of Gibraltar is then the arrow that goes straight to the United States and basically to New York. And Gibraltar, the Strait of Gibraltar is between Europe and Africa. So those become the pillars as it comes into the United States. So through the Euro-African pillars this time, and the threshold to New York and Ellis Island, and the Statue of Liberty altar, because there's an etheric altar above the Statue of Liberty from Atlantis. And then Ellis comes up as L, so again, we talk about this all the time. The EL equals the capital L, the right angle, but also the number 11, the alignment, and the 6 lines across on top of each other, which equals the energetic exchange of E and E, which the E breaks down to 1 and 3 lines down, and 1 and 3 lines down, which is one that is equal and congruent to the other, or equality. So equality is, that's Ellis, equality is, and Isle, land, Ellis Island. At the right angle, and angel, I, and here is the liberty, right? The right angle is the L, and then liberty is I, Ber, and BER is the arc, the one, the bow and arrow, the naked, to bear and carry. Liberty, at the right angle, and angel, which is the Lady Liberty, I, arc, or connect dot to dot, one to one, as one, with my bow and arrow, naked to the world, to bear and to carry, and to just be TY, grateful. So the centaur, which is the half horse, half man, is the Sen and the Taurus, the archer and Milady. The bull is on fire, arcing to Milady, his queen of cups, of heart, freedom, equality, and liberty for all. And then Yeshua was coming up, because there was something, because the letters are always significant, and J wasn't significant to me. And so I went back to Yeshua, of course, and the Y is very significant because that is the 0 point. And it was coming up as Yeshua in a couple ways. Yes, and then Hua, which is abundant sun, fruit, flowers, egg and grain, blooming or blossoming, the result or effect, which I brought up the other day, that the 0 point is the 0 point, but the result or the effect that we appreciate is the expansion beyond 0 point. It's not actually at the 0 point. So the Y is a 0 point, and then the Eshua was coming up as this word E-S-H-U-I, which is in Mandarin, which means slops or waste water, or that could be P as well. So Yeshua in that spelling was coming up as 0 point. There's 0 point to waste water or to P. And the P is the part of my pin of the masculine with a housing with no feminine or no connection at the bottom. So there's 0 point to, right, to waste the P. There's 0 point to the P because the P doesn't have the feminine with it. It doesn't have the EE of the energetic exchange. The pin without the divine feminine or their connection. And again, that word, Eshui or Eshue, is from Pinyin Mandarin. So there's the pin coming up again with the pinwheel. And my safety pin. The safety pin from the pinwheel, the Y of the 0 point plus ES and Sun. And remember, S is S, as in Sophia, and Sun is Christ. So Yeshua literally means the 0 point with Sophia and Christ. The first card out was the Castle on a Cloud. The Lilac Higher Realms and Magic with 54, which is the Page of Swords, and a message of taking off like a rocket. And then I was getting Sinclair. I'm like, what the heck is that? So of course, you know, I had to look up Rocket Sinclair, and boy, was it significant. So, and you have to realize too that in this deck, there's a lot about rockets, but not Sinclair. So some of the shapes, I want to show you what I'm talking about, because it's very significant in a few cards in this deck. So in the castle, let's see if I can get to this. So there's two references to rockets. So you see how this portal right here is actually a rocket with the trail, down the trail, right? So that's a rocket, and then the castle here with the sun. But then we also have the castle literally, again, with the rocket reference and the trail. And literally this looks like a rocket taking off, this castle, in front of the moon though this time. So I just wanted to reference those because that's some of the imagery that I'm getting as I get my downloads. So the Rocket Sinclair came up, and I looked it up, and Rocket Lab closed acquisition of a satellite hardware manufacturer, Sinclair, which is a strong merchant spacecraft components business. And that was, I think, April 2020. I thought I wrote it down. But anyway, I was getting a plug for that company, Rocket Club Sinclair. Certainly can't give you any financial advice, but if that resonates with you, you might want to look into it. And of course, getting information about Starlink. I want to say Skylink. You know, Starlink, which is Elon Musk's company, which isn't actually on the market yet. And that's the company from which the satellites came down. So those two came up, just so you know. Castles and rockets with the Page of Swords and the King of Swords, which is father and son. The diamond light of purity and innocence, and angel wings, or the right angle or perspective of the wings to use in your footprint. Remember the GS is the footprint. I think that was. And then that can also reference the feminine god. The boundaries, set them daily, don't forget. And that's with patience, right? Don't, like talking about, buying stocks, don't rush into anything. There's nothing to be scared of. Like if you feel any fear, it's about getting past those fear, but also not rushing into anything and feeling that you're forced, that you're going to miss out on anything. It's just, it's an illusion that makes you feel that way, right? Because a cent or 10 cents really isn't going to make a difference in the long run, right? If you're investing for the long run. So it's just reminding us to be patient when we make decisions. Be a patient and an angel. They were literally saying to you, patience, angel, one step at a time, to the rocket ship through the arcs and the castles. They take off at night. Archangel Sandalphon is with you now, with lyran music, and 22 on the Fool's Journey. And 22 is coming up significantly again today for me. Receive the sunlight, or receiving the sun to light the shadow in lots of activity and transformation. Inner child, what weighs on you today? Here are your messages as the collective awakens to abundance. Metatron Rainbow Bridge. It's like they were showing me the purified diamond with the sunlight streaming through it, just like I told you to put your water bottles in the sun, not in the heat, but inside the window to get the sunlight through it. Receiving the sunlight to light the shadow in lots of activity and transformation, but then talking about the purified diamond and the sunlight streaming through it, which was coming up as equaling the arc or the rainbow, because remember the rainbow is equal to white. So the arc of light is the rainbow, creating movement to inspire and do wise review, to see new perspective before action. The Queen of Cups and their light body, right, the Mary Magdalene, the Divine Feminine Collective, feeds into Gaia and Collective, along with Archangel Sandalphon and the Om, right, the primordial sound of the universe, A-U-M space. So there was a fourth space there. And the Void, which I always say is creative human identification or interdimensionalism. And then the 30, which is the sign of the Void and the Om, which looks like it has an arc above it with a diamond. So it's just literally talking about the diamond light, and the arc is being shown to me as the sun ray coming through the diamond, and then the 30 of the union, because that's the home with the drawbridge, bringing you into the home, the threshold. And that's also the 0 of source energy backing up the 3 of abundance and the Empress and Gaia. Walk away and within, and then take action when movement is needed, because then you're very calm and you'll get that insight and those downloads very clearly. Then healing, come together to pause and receive. So I stopped to do the magnet and the hands, the healing hands. And I actually saw this time the Sandalphon kind of energy, instead of just holding hands over my head, they were sweeping my energy right to left, which I'd seen Patricia McNeely had done with me before, many years ago, was pushing the masculine energy over to the left because there was too much on the right. And that's probably because I was out, getting my car done this morning. So that was very interesting to see. So Indigo Child is now whole and complete with star knowing home. And I was getting the star with 8 rays. Reaching out to Indigo Child, down on their knees, looking up at the stars, the Water Dolphin Chariot of Emotional Well-Being, and the icosahedron again, which is literally saying, my matter blueprint, the aqua blueprint. The Fire Dragon and the Pyramid Sun together become dolphins and dragons coming into one. At the purple moon, with time out needed, conquering your fears, perhaps about money, for dreams to come true one step at a time, with angelic and angel help of seeing new perspectives. And then Shell Oil came up as well here. I think they're selling off their assets in the Ukraine. So pink came up for compassion and self-love and nurture, as well as the gold right next to it. The pink is 26 of the Page of Wands, inspired, and the shell was inside the life bulb or the womb. The shell in the womb expanding into our energies, Having compassion for the child who gets excited, like the Page of Wands, and overly eager to jump on something. But as you grow and mature, you learn to wait, right? There's nothing that should make you feel like if you don't get in now, it's not going to work out for you, because the universe doesn't behave that way. If something is supposed to happen suddenly, it will do it for you. You won't have to worry over it. So allow ideas to germinate. It takes 9 months, remember, for a baby to achieve the gold. As what's created in the womb moves up to the heart and fills up your senses. It fills up your senses. In the Tower of Sudden Epiphanies and Sudden Events, and then again I got the drawing of the infinity that Michael Salla had shown about the photon belt. And by the way, there were one half of the infinity had 16 lines around it, which again is the Tower of Sudden Events and Epiphanies. And the photon belt, which literally can be the infinity symbol, is a photon belt, like in your car, of quantum entanglement in communication, sending out the quantum pairs, where when one hits, the other automatically receives the message. The Grail is like the cradle. It holds the prize, like the atlas that holds the head up. The solar plexus is the jump-off point to the womb and the heart. They are the result of it. The womb is limited to the human embodiment, like the bottom of the apple, but the heart has unlimited potential, like the top of the apple, right? It's like the explosion isn't contained, but the implosion is at the bottom of the apple. So 317 is the Empress and the 17 of the star. Remember that the womb may be limited because we're humans in the way we conceive and give birth. However, the heart, but it's not unlimited in a way, because we give birth out the core, the bottom of the apple. We give birth, and then that being goes off and has unlimited potential. So it's kind of in an indirect way, the way the implosion has unlimited potential, but your heart still always has unlimited potential, is what they're saying. Remembering that the solar plexus, it's coming up like the narrowing, like the sand of time, the hourglass, right? So the middle of that is the quantum leap. That's that 0 point. However, the energy is what's on either side of it, right? The implosion and the explosion, and going both directions. So the solar plexus is coming up as the 0 point, but the result of that is coming up as the heart growing and growing, and the womb growing and giving you children, which then go off and grow and grow. So the solar plexus is the jump-off point, the womb and the heart the result. The womb is limited to human embodiment, but the heart has unlimited potential. So the underlying energy from this Metatron read was releasing family. Perhaps you enjoyed your family recently, in order to go back and shine your light with the 3D waves that are now awakening. The first column was about building the castle, your castle, with your Archangel Sandalphon, Gaia, and the Queen of Cups. So it was bringing up the masculine and the feminine. As Sandalphon feeds the rocket in the castle, the Queen of Cups feeds the collective awakening. So there's like a reversal in the roles of the masculine and the feminine, because the traditional roles of the masculine, right, was to work and take care of the home and the castle, and then the feminine takes care of the children, right, and the home, and inside the home. But now it's coming up as the masculine, the Sandalphon, feeds the rocket and the castle, but the Queen of Cups feeds the collective awakening. So now she has it's the inner job, but at the same time it's the outside job, right? So she's connecting with the collective. So there's a bit of a switch here, but not directly. It's more in an etheric way. I don't know how to describe it. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. The second column is the King of Swords and purifying the sunlight, but that's also the sun, as in Father Sun's light, to bridge to the Queen of Cups in the Om, the AUM blank. And then the third column of finding the keys on the way home, of patience and boundaries, to not carry the weight of the world on your inner child's shoulders. With wise Akashic review, remember, in the library, hanging out and then taking action to move the energy out at 322, which is the Empress and the 22 of the Fool and the Fool's Journey. So there's your Metatron read. So now we have to go back to the Twin Flame read. on the table. So here's the basic read from the SIRIAN Starseed deck. Okay, and then we have the full 7-deck read here, which is on the table. Okay, for those of you not familiar, the decks are the Romance Angels, the Trove Sexual Magic, the Rider-Waite Mini. We have the SIRIAN Starseed deck is the main deck underneath. We have the Numerology deck. We have the Universal Golden over there, and then the Gilded in the back there. And we do oracles at the end. Okay. So I had looked up, what was I looking up? After I had done my video yesterday, I did go into looking up Hydra, the Hydra constellation. It's actually the largest of the 88. Includes Libra, Centaurus, and Cancer, the water snake, and straddles the celestial equator. It's supposed to be a hybrid of the serpent, lion, and bird, and the shape of the twisting snake. In Hindu, the Hydra is Ashlesha, and also belonging to the uninhabitable spot in Arabic, which references 0 point. Hydra is with only one bright star, Alphard, and then there's the Alphard or Alpha Hydrae is considered the orange giant. And what just came up yesterday was the orangutan, which is the orange, and the giant, which is, I can't remember what word that came from, but I just brought it up. The giant and the giant orangutan. So, and it's also considered the solitary one. So I'm not going to go into all that. Of course, you can look that up. But I was looking it up because I wanted to see more about M83 as well, the Southern Pinwheel Galaxy. So you can check that out too. It's really pretty. Oh, and by the way, Alpha Centauri has also had the most supernovas of any area. They've had 6. No, actually it's M83 has had 6 supernovas, so it's very significant. Okay, so this read on the table there was cut and dealt at 9/18, which happens to be my birthday, so that can relate to you as well. That's why I tell you that. At 9:30, which is the Hermit and the Union energy, EN of Chalices came up, which is for me, that's literally the Jesus Christ energy, and then the S of Sophia, so the Christos Sophia energy was definitely coming up here of the union of the hermits. And then I finished clarifying at 9:43, which is the Hermit and the 43 of the 3 of Cups coming together, reunion. So the major arcana that came up were Starseed, Abundance. Starseed is the Fool, Abundance is the Empress, Star, and Reflection, which is the Hermit. Before the read, the Wheel, the Great Wheel, and Strength card came up. And then there was 1 sword, 1 wand, 2 pentacles, and 3 cups. So 1, 1, 2, 3, which is the 11 of Justice, the 23 of the King of Wands. And so mostly cups here, and pentacles. So the energies of practical day-to-day life, including money, and then the emotional life. We have the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Cups within the read. The 9 of Pentacles are the sovereign energy before the read, and then the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups after the read. There's a lot of cup energy here. We had double 1s, double 4s, and double 7s in this read. The 11 is Justice, 44 is the 4 of Cups, grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, as well as I talk about that 44 being the lap dance, and the 77 of the Sovereign, which came up in the underlying energies. We also have a significant here, 345, which is the 3D 45D, and the number 10, which is that high vibration of the 10, and of course computer code. We have 14 of the Temperance card, 47 of the 7 of Cups, or synchronicities. We have the 12 of the Hanging Man, 23 of the King of Wands, 57 of the 3 of Swords, and then 79, which for me is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And then 9, 10, begin again. Every time you leave center or the heart, come back to center in the present moment. The code line, there were no numerology cards today on the code line, so it was just all about the number 58, which is the Four of Swords, which for me is the 5D connection between the twins. And that was coming from the numbers 3, 51, and 4, which is the King of Swords between the Emperor and the Empress. The code line message here: to the nth degree, expanding and contracting the balanced human in a show of power with the Christ-Sophia union and the 3 of Trinity regarding the King of Swords of crystal. And remember what I said, the numbers were 3, 51, and 4. The King of Swords is between the 3 and 4. The King of Swords of crystal and the wise grounding and integrating of receiving of love, being capable and able-bodied here. To the nth degree, perhaps a fake ring or fake stone, or no bone or no saxophone. And that could be saxophone as well. The brother of a girl, or 3 of 5, and the Ace of Pentacles, which is offering time, money, or energy, or perhaps a new life, to clear boredom, or of being able-bodied, capable, and well off. To the nth degree, a phony union perhaps, and taking the high road, being sick or ill or some kind of disease. The finger, the toe here, and different, separate, and distinct, I am, a special issue, broadcast or episode, really, truly, thorn, fishbone, or different, and frightening, fearing, and whole came up here. I am fearing a special issue, separation and change and expansion, conflict and offer of a new life. To the wise queen he had ignored, even though capable, able-bodied, and well off. So we start this read with the Queen of Swords upright, and beneath that, the Wheel reversed, the 4 of Wands reversed, the 9 of Pentacles reversed, the 2 of Swords upright, and the Strength card reversed. Okay, so here's the underlying energy in the read. We have this big card over here. The little cards on top is the underlying energy. That's the Queen of Swords. So the slowdown in a twist of fate, perhaps unstable situation, or moving, a visit, or a homecoming, leaving a marriage, or just feeling powerless and dependent, in a loss of power, money, or stability, knowing and floating, perhaps comfortably numb, weak in need of strength, or feeling sick, as the Queen of Swords is speaking her truth at 1041, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Ace of Cups. Grounding, integrating, and mastering, or GIM, which can be the gym, but grounding, integrating, and mastering a love offer, coming together, perhaps withholding with dissatisfaction, or withholding your dissatisfaction. And movie-wise or show-wise, devotion was coming up last night. So at 10:43 is the Wheel of Fortune and the 3 of Cups. This could also be playing hardball to get satisfaction. Grounding, integrating a lie, a divide, or a split, with the Chariot in a bold move to heal, to dream, with the King of Swords reversed, awake to the High Priestess or secret, with the King of Wands reversed at 10:50, which is the Wheel of Fortune and emotional fulfillment of the 10 of Cups. And it usually relates to a family. Just give me 1 second. I just want to take a sip. Sorry about my gulping. I know it's kind of weird to hear. Okay. So awake to the Viking in the train, or the hook in the third eye. The High Priestess is knowing about the King of Wands reversed and their illness, or perhaps he's pissed off. The Viking, olive head, or salt and pepper, perhaps Middle Eastern, and the luck of the Irish, or lucky green boots here. With Libra and Leo reversed, Cancer, Aquarius, and Pisces upright, Capricorn reversed as well. A sister, or suffering in silence, trying to end the pain, or the pair, frustrated, not aroused, or not humored, with the Queen of Swords speaking to end the worst of it and achieve the bliss state, maybe a little bit of arousal, for material without growth. The Queen of Swords says, off with their heads, and now the worst is over, after the bliss has returned. There's playfulness here, and beneath that, a past life relationship, and an offer of love, a big love, no longer to be silent or silenced. The Queen of Pentacles ending conflict, either losing battle with exhaustion, clinging, needing closure, perhaps after death or in a near-death experience. And the Queen of Pentacles ending the battle, putting the cards out on the table, right? Laying it all on the line. Perhaps wanting to die, or a man at her feet, and she wanting something else. An offer of love, unable to sleep, with the Queen of Pentacles upright in a losing battle of the never-ending story at 11:11. Leadership is 81 with the ending of karma around the world, and healing underneath that with 66, the Queen of Pentacles. Ghosting the wounded warrior in the underlying energies, lacking faith in the Queen of Cups upright in a turn of fate or slowdown, perhaps a bad time, with the Emperor reversed, abusing his power, or perhaps feeling disempowered by lover. Lying, cheating, and stealing going on with the wounded warrior down on their knee, falling on their face from grace or falling for the Queen of Cups, as the Queen of Cups is longing in a twist of fate, like Juliet, and the Emperor's reversed with lover or fantasizing with engines pumping, and let them eat cake. Lemurian divine connection here with 11:24, Justice and the Queen of Wands, with Cancer and Sagittarius both reversed, as well as Aries and Libra reversed, and Gemini upright. The Lovers, Queen of Swords, and the King of Wands, who's reversed, their bliss, or now the worst is over of the never-ending story, or after death. Leadership and ending of karma here. As we go forward after the read, of knowing and protecting the heart, awake and rising above, or waking and coming out, sharing or settling out to end the conflict of lacking faith. The Queen of Swords surrendering to the past, or looking back at the past with the King of Pentacles, or literally, like in the movie I was watching, literally the girl just looked back at her King of Pentacles in the movie. So it could just be literally looking back at someone. And then the recent past is the Starseed reversed, with no fresh start, the Knight of Swords reversed, lashing out or holding their tongue, and the Ten of Cups reversed, family, unhappy or emotionally unfulfilled, with the Page of Cups and puppy love, and implementing a plan to destabilize in a losing battle at night, or at the full moon, or with Cancer holding back an announcement, or spoke too soon at 11:38, which is the Queen of Cups again. 38:11 is the way you'd write the Queen of Cups. But again, Justice of the Queen of Cups, and the full moon, or with Cancer holding back an announcement or spoke too soon, perhaps needing to swallow their pride, or awake and juggling, performing, or fooling around at 11:39, which then brings in the Knight of Cups. The Empress reversed with issues at work, aligning with dumping multiple loads or emotional attachments. The foundation here is the Three of Pentacles reversed, with issues at work, or not coming together to create, third party through work and the never-ending story of dumping a load, a burden, or all your responsibilities, or near-death confession with the King of Pentacles upright, admiring the dream girl to take a load off. And centrally here is the Five of Wands reversed, in a losing battle again, awake and falling for the Magician who's weak and needing strength, running from a negative past or a falling out and letting go to fix, repair, or make amends. With the Sovereign reversed, who's actually dependent in a losing battle, or powerless in ending conflict, and challenged by recovering from being left in exile, illness, or injury. With the Ace of Pentacles reversed, withholding, saving, or to recover with the Emperor upright, without peace, with the Emperor choosing a new path. Divorce and keeping it to self and feeling blocked or unable to function, with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community of wealth or abundance, and the fantasy family of the Page of Pentacles, an opportunity to hurt oneself, falling into being a third party, and the world upside down, and the King of Wands reversed, unable to offer affection, losing patience and going out of their mind, with the Divine Feminine in the 5D, and the Knight of Wands reversed, Sag, Virgo, needing to swallow their pride about poor judgment, with cycle almost over, and able to expose all now, or sunshine, with Aquarius and Pisces both reversed here, along with Saggy Virgo, which can just be a description of two different people, an Aquarius Pisces and a Saggy Virgo, and the exposure or vacation here with the King of Wands reversed. And now is the Empress reversed, with the Lovers, the King of Cups upright, and the Queen of Cups reversed, of wealthy family getting over loss, a sister, or suffering in silence and over isolating with lover, or just going out of their mind, walking away and within, away from detoxing, a codependency, or Capricorn and Taurus both reversed, or a loss of a mother and heartbreak, with High Priestess, secret past, and war in a downturn and trapped, recovering in need of peace and shocked by dissatisfaction, or the Page of Pentacles, who may be hurting themselves, or recovering with student, who may be really sad after falling out and a split and needing clarity, with the Page of Wands reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed, and the Knight of Cups reversed, which can just indicate also jealousy, detoxing and rising above and being juggled and rejected for passion with no growth or feelings, or perhaps feeling used. And soon coming up here is the Queen of Cups reversed, receiving good news or arrival of the Emperor about the past, receiving love in a bold move, or from Cancer, working to align with the Queen of Pentacles and shame and guilt. Twin flames seeing themselves as the Star card, getting over the injustice of being a third party unable to work together, and the Empress reversed with kids or on vacation or exposing all, and the Page of Swords stepping up to spread the word, defenseless to the injustice of it all, with Aquarius and Leo upright, Libra and Taurus reversed here, and at 12:24 the Hanging Man and the Queen of Wands is engagement and trust. And around the twins, no reflecting or done that and coming out, with the Hermit reversed, losing their mind and surrendering to or of the King of Wands reversed, sharing or settling out, powerless and disconnect or at a distance, not being able to see each other and coming out about it, about a breakup perhaps, and the block here being the Four of Cups, grounding, integrating, and dumping multiple loads, with the King of Swords reversed in a heated exchange, confession only after the fact, living with a stranger, apart from the one that they're close with. At 12:29, the Hanging Man and the Three of Wands, of a love partnership, manifestation, and patience. The Ten of Cups reversed, an emotional ending, with the Hermit reversed, the World reversed, and losing patience, temper, or coming out to the Divine Feminine in the 5D, with the Fallen Angel, with Virgo, Pisces, and Sag all reversed right here, unhappy family or frustrated with no growth, no decision, and the world upside down, or a cycle that needs to close, perhaps needing closure there, and all exposed. With the Ten of Cups reversed and the Knight of Cups reversed, brought out jealousy of taking the risk of passing messages, with the Page of Cups upright or puppy love, and coming back downstairs or back down to earth to offer new love to the Queen of Pentacles, or to receive it from her now that she's grounded at 12:36, the Hanging Man and the Atlas energy of the weight of the world. And perhaps dropping that. Yeah, it's reversed in this read. So the Queen of Swords, third party to the Star, going out of their mind, coming out, falling, and ending the conflict, challenged by withholding or saving for a new life. The Queen of Cups reversed is wishing upon a star, as the Empress reversed is with the Ten of Cups reversed, unhappy family, or perhaps a family who's worried about her, with the Knight of Cups reversed passing downloads to the Page of Cups upright, offering a loving message for the Queen of Pentacles to come down and give love in return, big time, and dump their emotional attachments at 12:44, the Hanging Man, and the grounding and integrating and mastering of love, especially receiving. With Libra reversed, destabilized, with dependent, numb and weak, or in surgery, or needing courage to break through to the other side, with the Queen of Swords in need of a fresh start with lovers, perhaps Gemini and Aries reversed here, with the Three of Pentacles reversed, issues at work and a losing battle, challenged by the Ace of Pentacles reversed and saving for a new life, with the Empress reversed, or waiting for Mother to recover, and the star of the show, the Queen of Cups reversed, disappointed, or being patient with issues, or coming out with their wishes, with family concerned about mother or lack of abundance, and the Knight of Cups reversed, rejection, moody, or jealousy of sharing information with the Page of Cups, and the Page of Cups then receiving the love from the Queen of Pentacles at 12:50, which is the Hanging Man and emotional fulfillment at the end with the family, or that could be a happy ending as well. So let's see what the oracle cards have for us today. All right, so from the dream the Shaman Dream deck. Let's see what they have to say today. We're at 54, 59. I just turned 55, which is the truth, Excalibur, with Source backing it up at 527, which is the Hierophant and the Ace of Wands. That third energy, that flame, the Flaming Bull and Lady Liberty, the Centaur and the Statue of Liberty is the masculine and the feminine. I was just getting the French connection. My father is French, actually. And so is Elena Denon. And the Statue of Liberty. And Mary Magdalene. There's a big French connection there for the Divine Feminine. And then for the masculine, that could be big for the Centauri areas. And Sagittarius, too. All right, let's see here. And I always get Mr. Ed, you know that. But all right, so what is our takeaway from the read today? A big clump just came up. All right. I actually took it from the wrong side of the deck, but that's okay. It's coming up as the underlying energy, but that's what it wanted you to see. So we have the Netcaster, which came out before. Preparations coming to fruition, which is interesting because I just labeled preparations yesterday and not from this card. So 42 is the Two of Cups, the coming together, that soulmate connection. And the net was coming up the other day as in not what you're going to get. It was coming up as a trap, right? It's not like she's getting something by using this net, but there's also something in it that's getting trapped by the net, and that was the energy that was coming up as the message the other day. But preparations are coming to fruition, so whatever net you cast out there is coming back. It's manifesting. And then we have stars in the sky with limitless possibilities, as I was just describing that, the limitlessness of the heart. Stars in the sky sitting on the bridge, right, meditating in the middle of the Rainbow Bridge is the 51, which is the Divine Masculine, the King of Swords. Right? And it's very stone cold in this card, right? Being very disciplined about doing their meditation in the middle of the bridge. And this is also the middle of the whispering bench, right? Coming together. Like you start out on either side, and then if depending on how they're doing, you know, asking them to come to the middle with you, to sit back to back and resonate your energies, and then perhaps go from there. And then we have the eyes of the eagle rising above the fray. The eagle eye. That's so funny because right before this read, I was looking at my eagle, and he looks like usually he looks straight on, but today it's like he's looking back at me and he's protecting the stone behind there because I have a stone right behind the eagle. And today it looks like he's protecting the egg or something, and the flame just went out. Oh, it's cooked. It's done. It's done cooking. The egg is about to hatch. The eyes of the eagle rising above the fray. It's really weird too because I was seeing this in my periphery, and the shape of this picture looks the same as the eagle. You notice that? It's like you never know what form your shadow will come in. And this is literally like the masculine and the feminine sitting on either side of the whispering bench and coming to the middle. Right? The one who's got their net out there cast, and the other one that's studying in Akashic records, perhaps. The eagle eye. But there's a little birdie in the net. I don't like that. Oh, it's a bird or a fish. It's hard to tell. Looks like a bird. And so the bottom of the deck is going to be the next card because it came off the wrong side of the deck, closing the door and completion. So I want to see what's on the top of the deck. So that's confirming completion. I just said that the flame just went out. So the egg is cooked, whatever was cooking is done, and you were just doing preparations and now it's complete, and the very first card on the top of the deck is the Wailing Tree and reconciliations, right? So maybe some purging that you need to go through. And that's the 59 of the War Within, right? The Five of Swords. And again, bridging the family trunk, because remember I told you the roots were good for the older generation, they're good. And then we have the young ones who are really linked in with each other really well. But it was about the middle of the tree that needed to come together still. Those are the tough ones to bring together. And so there may be some purging, you know, when you come together. That kind of energy, the War Within. And then straddling worlds, wandering between realms. With the 52 is the Queen of Swords. So we have the King and Queen of Swords coming up here. Very interesting. And the Fool and the Fool's Embrace, transmuting the pain, right? So literally, these are the cards that came out on the masculine side, right, with the 51, and then you have the 52 on the feminine side, right, and coming together here. Coming together with the eagle eye, right, to sort out the purging process and the pain. The war within the both of you. And on either end, we have the Two of Cups and the 22 of the Fool's Journey, with an open heart, taking a leap of faith. It's really beautiful. The messages all the time now are just beautiful. I'm always surprised. I want to pull an energy card today for you guys. I still have to do some astrological reads. I didn't do any yesterday. So the next one coming up is Gemini. So I'll at least do Gemini and Cancer today. We'll see if I can get another one or two done. That's a scam call. It's 534. The Hierophant and the Energetic Exchange, or Freedom, and the Arrows of Love. It's 101.55. Check that out. 55 came up again. So the Truth. The Two Magicians and the Truth. There's your message about those cards that just came up. And from the energy deck, let's see what comes up. Oh, there we go. That just slipped right out from the middle. The Sun. I was getting that energy too of two suns. Was that from yesterday's read? I think so. The One of the Magician, again, the Two Magicians. What else did I say? Oh, and the 55 and the Truth, right? His truth, her truth, and the truth. So it's kind of that kind of energy coming up. But the Sun is about exposure, fully exposed. And remember, I saw the swimming pool with the cabana over it. And maybe they were referencing the cabana as the sun. And there's a book there too. Well, it certainly is a luxurious pool, isn't it? And it's in a cup. It's in a holy grail. And then we have the door to personal healing and happiness, letting the outdoors in, right? So in this picture, you have outdoors, both outside and inside, and it's the 34 again. The energetic exchange, the arrows of love, lots of back and forth of the air going in and out of your house. So it's nice and healthy as springtime is here. It's time to open the windows and have spring cleaning. Door to romance, 33, the Christ vibration, unity consciousness, right? Freeing your heart from the cage. And again, we have opening windows and doors right here. As I was just talking about the opening the door of the meditation as well, to the whispering bench. And the pool, which may be a portal. Okay. We have the happy family here too. But what was the Emperor's upright, so this may be. The 10 of Cups was that upright too? I thought it was reversed. Yeah, I think the 10 of Cups is reversed. If I can spot it here. There's certain cards that are always hard to spot. I don't know why that is. It has to do with the coloring, the definition of it. I'm pretty positive it was reversed though, because I think they were both, the 9 and 10 of Cups were reversed. But yeah, so this could be an ending of a family situation, but the Emperor of the 4, the stability is there, and it can be a happy ending. But it could also be a break, that everybody's on board at this point. And then we have the yin-yang of the balance of the Fool's Journey, with an open heart taking a leap of faith, in perfect balance and contentment. The bottom of the deck is the envy of whoever this is, the one who's sitting in judgment, the 20 That can be in this Sirian Starseed deck. It's the karmic card, and this was reversed because it was. And I don't like the Judgment card when it's in reverse. It's worse when it's reversed. It's like the reversed is like this upright because it's somebody sitting in judgment who kind of has evil intentions here. And underneath that is the rest and rejuvenation of the masculine here and the sun taking vacation while someone else is sitting in judgment. Okay? So this could be literally the masculine taking vacation, or perhaps taking vacation watching the feminine take vacation. And spring cleaning here, the door to romance, of opening the doors and the windows, finding happiness within the family and balance within your situations, keeping your heart open and taking that leap of faith. And with the journey of love, finally. So there is a closing of one door and opening the other, because the other deck we closed a door for completion, and then we're opening doors and windows for spring cleaning. The cards from that deck with the shaman dreams, that's definitely has to do with the whispering bench, connection between the masculine and the feminine. And then just getting ready to do some spring cleaning here. Let's see what the Fool's Journey has to say. Okay, I got 3 cards here. The Angel of Jupiter Awaken, which is the lovers, and there's the alignment of the masculine and feminine. They don't need to do a thing because that space between them will automatically, as they go forward, come together into one unit. And then we have the Rings of Time, and I always get the Thoth energy, which is the old. It's like Metatron split from the Thoth energy, which used to be together, which is now the old and the new. And again, this is the 44, which is the old. That's the lap dance of the 3D of Rings of Time, right? Those older who may be not doing well or getting up there in age and have their old fixed ways of thinking in the mind as opposed to feeling. And then we have the Shakti of the warrior feminine, which is the way the feminine is coming up now as the sun. So it's very interesting. See, the outdated may be falling away now. We have the cloak on the bottom of the deck here, by the way. The 50 of, again, the family, 10 of cups, and the cloak of being alone and contemplating. In beauty, though. Look how beautiful the picture is. That's the underlying energy. And the Christ flame of despair underneath that, right? Contemplating his life, the conflict, the family. And again, there's envy here on the other side of that for the masculine as he's taking a break. And see what's behind him is the appreciation, but it doesn't look real on her face. She doesn't look happy at all. Okay. So after these 3 cards of alignment of the lovers and the Rings of Time and the warrior spirit of the feminine and the sunshine, collecting the sun, right, to feed to the masculine, I feel like the masculine's recovering because he's been through the war of time here. And the feminine becomes the warrioress, right? And then we have these 2 coming out as well. Again, this came up yesterday. She is the moon with completion of the world, coming full circle, and finding the power here. And this was the preparation for the wedding, right? She looks like the bride getting ready for the wedding. And then the shifting universe with the 7 of Chariot, which is all about the feminine and the masculine getting into the vehicle of ascension, and all the signs and symbols of music of the universe, of the shifting universe. Like I'm just seeing literally the gears changing gears or shifting gears as we go into spring, and the music of it all. Okay, so it's really beautiful. It's literally the masculine and the feminine coming into alignment. Jupiter's about benevolence and expansion of the lovers and letting go of the Rings of Time and the old way of doing things, right? By exposing with the new warrioress of the feminine, Shakti, and the rising of the Kundalini, right? That she is complete now. She is a moon in preparations for the shifting universe. And the music it is of ascension. All right, so we're going to read from the Journey of Love, which is, what was that first one as I just put them down? Okay, Angel, this number 6, okay. Angel of Jupiter Awakening. That one's come up pretty much a lot lately. So the Angel of Jupiter Awakened says, Beloved, within you there's a magnificence, greatness, and ability to live bolder, larger, and more exuberantly than you may have ever imagined. Awaken that keen spirit, hungry for adventure and new experience. The Angel of Jupiter, the spirit of bold expansion and divine generosity, lives within you. Your spirit cannot be made small, but must be free. Start now. Feel the endlessness of your own heart. What can be done today to live bigger? A smile? A yes to that offer of adventure? Sharing vulnerability without fear? Taking a step forward into the unknown? Daring to imagine that the divine doesn't just happen to you, but happens through you, as you? Embrace the courage of your own open heart and dare to dream, beloved. The bold divine nature within you is calling you to great things. Now is your time to awaken. This oracle holds a message of guidance for you. You're being given an opportunity that can change your life. Don't hesitate to accept it. If you're acting with more assertiveness, more generosity, more playfulness, and more spiritual authority than usual, this is confirmation that this is coming from a genuine place within you. If you're experiencing some havoc in your life or a sense that things are changing, this oracle comes as affirmation that yes, there is change, and yes, you're outgrowing what once was. So you will be prepared to receive that which is more suited for your next stage of growth. Awaken your arms, I wait to stop time, savoring each moment for an eternity. Like an angel, you light the room, your love giving life to the love I've held within. Unbridled and free, our dream unfolds, and we are forever changed. I invite you to make sure to drink plenty of water and get your rest. You're joining your nature. And it was just 1:12:12, so the 2 hanging out in Magician Embodiment. And it's 5:44 on the clock. The change from the old. And it was just 12:21 again and 12:22. Rise and be love, you guys. Breathe. I will see you soon. Have an amazing day. Bye.